Good evening. Welcome to the Monday, December 5th, regularly scheduled meeting of the Parks, Recreation, and Seniors Commission. Jack Penders, and to my left is Sue Robbins.
That's your right.
I wrote it big here. And to Sue's right is Claire Dunn. To my left is Rose Dostert, Vice Chairperson of the Commission. To Rose's left is Judy Sullivan. And around the corner is Rick Maynard, the Director of Parks and Recreation. To Rick's left is John Jagelski, Commission member. And to John's left is Catherine Stewart, our recording secretary. And out there behind the camera is Peter Schultz. Good evening. Before we go into the second item, the public forum, I'd like to add 2 items to the agenda. I'd like to add Nut Plains Dog Park, and I'd ask that it be added under 8, a new G, under unfinished business.
8G?
8G, yes. And also, I'd like to add the Guilford Lakes Golf Course to the agenda, and that would be 8H. Everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Public forum, anyone wish to make a presentation before the commission? You don't have to, Charlie. You can if you'd like.
I don't have a presentation. I was just wondering, Joan says she has not yet heard from Greg Buckley, and we were wondering about, if you heard about a final report and how I should be proceeding.
Why don't you state your name and address for the record?
Charla Nitch, 130 Weatherly Trail. So, Rick, have you heard?
Yeah, I just got the report last week.
Oh, okay, good.
Actually, and I spoke with him today about it, because I went through it.
Oh, great.
Some of it's a little bit scientific, so I wanted to find out, okay, what does this mean before I give a report on it? The bottom line, he said the results were good. On the north end of the lake, especially by the boat ramp area, it was very, very positive results there. He said all of it was good. The shoal area was not quite as effective, but it was still, much big improvement. So basically what he does, he takes what he calls transects, and it's all these different sections of the lake, and measures certain things, and he had this report, had all these, almost like a chart, that lists the different depths and what they saw and the differences and so on. So some of that was like way over my head. I didn't understand what it was, so I called him, and again, the bottom line, it was the results were good. We'll probably go back and touch up in the spring, June or July, some of those other invasives that have come back a little bit, hit them again. And then what we have in our capital budget for next year would be, which you folks have suggested, the south end of the lake. And so we're working, we have some quotes on doing something there in the south end for next year. But the bottom line is that the results were pretty positive of what was done so far.
Okay. So, is there anything that we need to do to prepare the budget for next year, or is it just put in for 50?
Well, we've already submitted it. The capital budget has been submitted with a quote, we got an estimate of what it would cost to do that south end. It's just a matter of getting people, the Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance to approve that capital budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Can we get a copy of that report?
Yeah,
Greg?
email me tomorrow if you wouldn't mind, and I'll, got to see how many pages. I might be able to scan it in and email it to you. I don't think it's a lot. It might be 10 pages, something like that.
All right,
I think I
great.
can do that.
Okay,
Sure.
all right, thanks.
Okay.
Item 3, correspondence. I don't have anything, as I checked the new packet, I don't think there's anything new here, Rick, is there?
Nope.
Anything now?
Okay. 3B, have you forwarded anything, Rick?
No.
Okay. Item 4, approval of the November 7th, 2016 minutes, and that would have been the regularly scheduled meeting.
I'll move we accept the minutes.
Second?
Are there any corrections, omissions?
I had just a couple of, and I know Kathy made the correction, I'm not sure again why they didn't get in here, but under correspondence received, email from Frank Farrell expressing appreciation for supporting the first annual pickleball tournament. It should be just for supporting the pickleball tournament, because it wasn't the first one. The first one that Judy had done with us in April, I think it was, right at the high school. So I would just take out first annual, just supporting the pickleball tournament.
Yeah, and that's on the new draft we got. Yes.
Yeah. And the only other one on page 3, and I know, again, Kathy did make these corrections, and I'm not sure why this part didn't go out, but under director's report, second paragraph, Mr. Maynard stated the golf disc tournament had been
70
held
people.
by, it should be 70 people, not 70 families. And actually it was 78, but 70 is what I reported last time, but it's people, not families. That's it that I had on there.
Yeah, I'm just going back and forth between what we had before, Rick, and,
Yeah, 'cause,
so just give us a minute. Because we did not have page 2 before.
Right.
I think what Bonnie said, when she made copies, somehow some of the pages that got caught up in the copy, she didn't realize it until she put them all together and sent it out.
Well, I think we were missing 4. And-
Yeah, so one
and
of the ones
5.
today should
4 and
have it.
5, okay. And for the record, Commissioner Mark Koppel is here. Good evening. Mark, we're looking at the November 7th minutes. Okay. Are we ready for a vote?
Absolutely.
Yep.
All those in favor of accepting the November 7th, 2016 regularly scheduled meeting minutes as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of the November 14th, 2016 minutes. And that was our budget workshop.
Make a motion to approve those minutes?
Is there a second? Any, any corrections or omissions? I read those already. Sorry, Rose.
I didn't have any.
Okay. John, your hand was up?
No.
No, okay. All those in favor of the minutes of November 14th, 2016, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll abstain
That's
in
right.
chorus.
Well, good.
Okay.
Is there a change in the bills here from the older ones?
Yes.
Yes, apparently there is.
Yeah, there happens some changes.
Really, but just in utilities.
And actually, the new one is
There's a
less.
format change too. though.
Yeah.
Item 5, review and approval of the expenditures for November 16th. Excuse me, November 2016. Okay.
you want me to just comment on one thing here, Jack, that,
Well, I just want to get the total. The grand total is $110,599.50.
Right.
And that would include salaries of $74,250.06 and non-salary items of $36,349.44. If you would, Rick.
just, the commission requested that we provide some detail, and Bonnie's done that. You can see, before it would just list, like on the left side, Eversource, but now you see where it is, Bittner Park, Jacobs Beach,
That's great, thank you.
you know, or if it's Hampton Zimmerman, you know, it's hardware, Russell Hall, paper supplies, trash bags, that kind of thing. So there was more detail, so at least you know what they are.
It's a good
No,
start.
I
Yeah.
think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, thank her for it. This is much easier.
Just a question, Rick, on the utilities, the first two, the annotation to the right. Is that a seasonal shut-off? There's shut-off notice 10/28/16, and similarly for 10/24.
No, what that was is, there was a conflict in bills getting paid, getting to town hall, or them getting paid. So the water company gave us a notice, but we shut off Long Hill and Jacobs and all those other ones anyway, but that's not what that was. It was a notice that if we don't pay the bill pretty soon, they're gonna shut it off. And so there was too much of a lag time between getting them from here to town hall and then getting them paid. And so we're working with the finance office of when, rather than Bonnie holding the bills for a couple of weeks, as soon as we get a
Water bill?
utility bill, we're getting it right to town hall right away. Sometimes she holds the bills like for the end of the month or the beginning of the month, you know, for the commission. But for utilities, we're sending them over right away now.
Okay.
And that same would apply to the science wing on the last page. There's the first under science building.
Was that water too?
Yeah. sure.
Yes.
That's the same.
Excuse me, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, unless we hear otherwise from town hall, I think it's best to just get it off the desk.
Right.
Yeah.
Get it across the green.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's a procedure. We have to just tighten it up a little bit, and so that, and the ones, some of them come from, the ones we pay to the high school or to the Board of Ed. They get the bill, then they send it to us. I have to prove it, then it goes to town hall, and so, there's a little bit.
a lag.
Yeah, well, I'm not blaming them or anything, it's just kind of the way that it goes, and sometimes it might sit on my desk for a couple of days before I get to it, and then maybe it sits on Bonnie's for a couple of days, so we're just gonna try to speed up that process a little bit.
So considering how long we've had these bills coming in for the high school, and there is so many places that it could, this is the first time we've had that for this, so that's a pretty good track
You're right.
record.
You're right.
You've been prompt with them.
Yeah.
Before we go to the second page, second from the last, under utilities, Eversource for Dome Avenue, and that's, of course, the lacrosse field, because they have the scoreboard. Do they reimburse us?
Yes, lacrosse, we pay the bill, but the lacrosse reimburses us for it. That was the agreement when they put that scoreboard up, that they were gonna cover the electrical costs for it.
Well, it speaks well for them, then.
Yeah.
I do have a question about the Bittner Park lights. Is that for the Little League season and for the soccer nights as well, for their home games?
It is, and we did invoice Little League for a portion of that.
Okay.
I can't, I think it was probably close to half, I don't remember the exact amount, but, because Little League was now using, having night games, and I told them if they do, they're gonna have to pay for the lights. And so after we get the bill, we send them an invoice. I think we send it twice, once in the summer and once in the fall, for the use of the field. It's based on, the hours of we know how many hours they use it, we know approximately, we know it's about $25 an hour roughly for the
I was just gonna ask
the lights.
that.
And then we just multiply it out and we bill them for it.
Okay. So $25 an hour for the adult softball field?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do we pay for like the soccer field?
Soccer field, we don't, well.
Are there lights there?
There are, if soccer uses, youth soccer doesn't use it all that much. They had a couple of games in the fall. But they spent $80,000 to put those lights in when they did, and we told them we're never gonna charge you to use them. They paid for them to go in. So unless the commission wants to change that, but that goes back
No,
probably
we told
20
them that
years
we
or
shouldn't do that.
15 years or something,
Yeah.
when they put them in.
We're also having see the Boy Scouts having a press box built there too?
That's, yeah, it's a proposed Eagle project, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I think it was Tim Miller's son. I think he came here, didn't he, last month, I think? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Page 2, under shoreline security, security monitoring. Is that the closed circuit camera system we put in a year or so ago?
No, that is, that's the, basically it's a burglar alarm system. And that's the same fee, 24 years. They've never charged more. That's a monthly fee every month, $39.50. Yeah. It's security. So for example, occasionally this happens. I mean, I was here at 3 o'clock one morning because there was a balloon floating around.
Oh, no.
And it made the alarm go off, and they called me at home, and this is a number of years ago. This is why we do not allow helium balloons in the building. You know, they float up to the ceiling, and when they start to deflate and come down, they set off
They set off the
their
alarm.
motion detector.
That's a good test, they're working.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
work. You know, occasionally, you know, a door may be jammed or not locked properly or whatever, and thankfully, the police do come around every night. They check every door. And I think 2 weeks ago, I had to come out around 11 o'clock one night. They were here, and there was a door that was not totally secure, so I had to come and lock it up. But it's because of the system we have with Shoreline Security. They know it, and if something's not right, they let us know.
Yeah.
They're very good.
On a related matter, what's the, excuse me, the annual maintenance fee or inspection fee for the closed-circuit TV system?
There is no annual fee. No.
There was a one-time payment of about, what,
Yeah.
about $11,000?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the third page, I always wonder about that, under grounds maintenance, waste transfer station. I mean, it's
I
the
don't
department of
know.
the town, they have their own budget, they have their own operating, it's an enterprise system, but we pay.
Yes. Yeah. It's not often that we dump there because we don't do the trash pickup anymore. It's contracted. It might have been something,
Something like that, right?
it might have been a file cabinet, or, I don't remember what the guys dumped there, but if it's just something they had to bring, we pay whatever the fee is.
Is that standard for all those departments?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's Madison and Guilford, so if
No, I
Madison
mean,
comes,
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Can I just make a comment about the portalets at Adams? I know,
Should be gone now.
Where are you there, Judy?
they are
Grounds
gone,
maintenance.
under grounds maintenance, they are gone, but my program's still going on, and I shouldn't laugh because they're like, some people are like,
Where are they?
where are they? And I said, they probably
How
took
much
them
longer are
away
you going?
because of Little League. Don't worry about it for this year,
Okay.
but said Little League and soccer and all
Yeah.
that's over with
Mhm.
baseball. But my adults would still use them until December 16th.
I'll have to remember that next year, because I usually tell them to take them all out by the end of,
Yeah.
November, because all the sports are done, and, except pickleball, the hardy ones.
But, I mean, last year it was mild and we got along without them.
Mhm.
This year, I've had more people go, oh, where is it? But we haven't been there that much
Yeah.
because it's been so cold and
Right.
nasty. So, I don't know, I was just gonna mention
I'll have to
it.
try and remember, well, yeah, I can't guarantee I remember next year, but remind me next year.
You want me to remember?
Yes.
I can't remember what I did
But
yesterday.
it's a test, though.
That's a good point, though, we just have them all pulled out, so we're paying
That's what I
I don't
figured.
know, $69 a month, I think, and
Yeah.
I
we don't
mean,
need
just
them,
for
we-
2 weeks for my folks, but
yeah, no, it
I'm
wouldn't make that much of a
mentioning it.
difference. Okay.
I know we spent more time than we usually do, but we have more information now. Of course, you give us more information, we have more questions.
I know,
But that'll settle into a routine, though.
But think of how many more questions we have if we didn't have all that information. So we really have less.
That's good, so at least we can identify what all
Yeah,
these
no,
things
it's
are being
great.
spent on.
Yeah, but we didn't know what we didn't know, so.
Yeah.
We need to vote on it.
Yeah, is a motion to approve the expenditures for November 2016.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? No. Agenda item 6A, department reports, Rick.
Okay.
Do you have any specific questions?
No.
Kind of spent most of the month working on that capital budget, so it's a little bit shorter report than normal, but
Well, because Charlotte's here from Lake Quantapug, if there's anything that you hadn't said before that you need to say now under your number 8.
I think it's pretty much the same thing. It's that the Greg's survey indicated there was good control of the invasive weeds, north end, retreatment of some areas next spring. That's pretty much it on that. I will mention, if you've been here for any night meetings, you might have noticed the north side of the parking lot sometimes has been very, very dark.
Dark,
Yeah,
yes.
There was
I
a
do.
light post that was out, and the facilities crew repaired it once. They put a new bulb in or whatever they did, and it worked for a little while, and then it was out again. And so I got an electrician, a contractor to come, and they were here last week, and hopefully now it's working. But I think I made a note of that, number 9 there was that, and also the Gifford Lakes tennis court. Who was,
I was,
yeah, that should be
But
working
it's-
now. Is
but
it?
it's so cold, we're
Oh.
inside, and we have one more.
Okay, because that should be working, because
Monday.
I had them go up to there and do that light also at the same
Thank
time.
you. It'll
Yeah.
be there this summer, I
Yeah,
hope.
hopefully it'll still work.
Yeah.
So, number 7, Rick.
Mhm.
I'm curious, what did they say about staff retention?
Well, it was interesting, it was, and I'm going to do this one day with the staff, there was like a national survey of questions of 1 to 10, what are the reasons that people stay at their job? And I don't remember what all of them were, but the pay was number 5. Pay was not number 1. It was more of recognition, which I think we do a lot of that.
Yeah.
Recognition to the staff, feeling important, feeling part of the team, those kinds of things are the top, higher level priorities. Benefits is certainly up there, but the actual pay was like number 5 out of a scale of 1 to 10. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And, in fact, some things we do, we do staff lunches and brunches periodically, we'll have the maintenance guys come and too, and
Right, I've
we have a
seen that.
lunch. We don't do it every month, but we do it periodically, and we do recognition and things like that. And because I sit where I sit, a lot of times I get letters like, oh, the parks are, whatever. I always pass that right on to the guys. It's the guys, great job, look what people
Yeah.
said about it.
Oh, I know you do.
And
Good.
at the tree lighting on Friday night, I was glad that Brian McGlone had given a lot of recognition to Tony and the maintenance guys for the work that our department does to get prepared for the tree lighting. And so, there were several thousand people there that heard Brian McGlone say, Tony Anselli and his crew. He said Parks and Rec Department, he said Tony Anselli and his crew, and so that's good. It's important those guys get the recognition for the work they
I
do.
was just curious, since we had a bit of a turnover this year.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Okay.
Of course, my question's going to be the fields, how are they going right now? Cox and new turf field at the high school.
Well, I was going to hit that under Standing Fields Committee, but the turf field, I believe, is done. I think there might be a couple minor things, but, people could play on it if they wanted to. And the Cox Field is, Paul Schmidt and I went up there on Friday and went through the punch list. I had asked the contractor to send the punch list back to me, listing everything that's done and what still needs to be done. And so Paul and I have a difference of opinion from the contractor of certain things that, Paul and I are on the same page. There are a few other things that we think still need to be done there. But I think that the north field, the sodded field, would be fine. That was expected to be ready to be played on in the spring. We always plan on not playing on the seeded field, the south field. That still needs some work. But overall, it's going along pretty well.
Good.
Yeah, you also have that listed under 8D, in addition to 7A standing fields.
Right.
Yeah.
And in the interest of Charlotte's time, also, we have you on the agenda, Charlotte, is Lake Quantapug weed control. If there's anything you could add there about that.
I think everything I said is basically, it's covered.
Okay. 6B, park foreman, Anthony Anselli.
I think I'll highlight here a couple things. The 4,400 square feet of sod that we put down, those are areas like soccer goal areas,
Have a happy holiday.
soccer goal areas, or worn areas on any of the fields. The new high school baseball field was an area along the first baseline that needed some work, so we resodded that. And then Tony highlighted too, the second to last bullet, OSHA training. Everyone's required to go, and we had 2 or 3 guys who had not had the training, and so they went, in addition to Todd, our custodian, he hadn't been trained. And it's required that everybody has to have this OSHA training, and so now all of our staff have it. And then Tony sent 3 of the newer guys to the snowplow safety course that was offered by Kerma, the town's insurance company. That was in New Milford, I think. They had about an hour drive they had to go for it.
That's all right.
Yeah,
Field trip.
and
It's
so
worth
they,
it.
they went.
When you were talking about the sod in the high school area, that reminded me, what about that area in the baseball field that was collecting water and getting to be an issue? Did that get resolved?
It's being resolved. The contractor put down a warning
Still
track,
a
basically
gate?
from the third baseline to all around by the backstop, all the way to first base dugout. And they're going to readdress that. I guess it was kind of a pea stone. It was kind of loose, so they're going to put something denser in there, maybe more like a stone dust, or they're going to do something with that. But the area that was seated adjacent to that, there was a Legion-level baseball game there right after they seeded it. And that is now going to get sodded, and that's supposed to be done, we were going to have it done this week, but I don't think so with the rain and everything. The contractor, since they're going to go back in and readdress the warning track area, they're going to cut up, well, we're going to sod it. I mean, there's sort of it's a three-way partnership. They're going to sod it. The baseball group is going to pay for the sod. They're going to cover the cost of the sod. I'm sorry, we're going to sod it. The contractor's going to cut the area out to be sodded, prepare it. The baseball group will pay for the sod. We're going to put the sod down. So it's like a partnership, a three-way partnership to get it done. So that field will be in good condition for the high school baseball team in the spring.
So as long as they'll have it ready.
Yeah, we were hoping this week to do it, but I think it's going to get pushed back. I did talk to the sod company. They said they can cut sod usually right up until December 23rd.
Wow.
So we got a little time still.
Where are they out of, just curious?
It's Winding Brook.
Yeah, we used them. They were up in Weathersfield.
Yeah, I think
We
Weathersfield,
used them
yeah.
at our house, and they were great and
Yeah.
very reasonable.
Mhm.
Wow, and the quality of the sod is
It's
phenomenal.
good sod, yeah. That's what we
Wow.
have at the new Cox project. Yeah.
Thick, it's flush, it just took to the,
Mhm.
seating. Yeah, Winding Brook, they're good.
So we're also going to, with that project, we're going to purchase some turf blankets. We used to have some years and years and years ago. And what they do is it's almost a little bit like a greenhouse effect. You put them over the sod, and it warms up. It's not going to grow in the winter, really, but it'll warm up quicker in the spring and get the roots to go down so that we can put the sod down next week, put those blankets on it, and then it should be playable early in the spring.
Wow.
They might miss a week or something, but the new synthetic turf field was built in a way that the early spring baseball practice could happen on that field. Actually, they even put marks where the bases would go on the field. So they can do infield practice, they can shag fly balls, they can do a lot of what they would normally do, just can't try to hit a home run.
Excellent.
6C.
Actually, I'm
oh,
sorry.
sorry, Mark.
That does raise I pass by there every day, and I have had this thought where from that field, as you're passing in front of the high school, and there's not much of a fence.
Right.
And I was curious, well, I guess we will all find out whether or not that would be an issue with balls flying into the street, because there maybe should be a taller fence, but I guess we'll see.
There's not, well, they planted evergreen trees,
Right.
and eventually they'll be
Exactly.
tall and they'll block it, but it's gonna take a few years before that happens. Yeah, I think it's gonna be
problem?
We'll see.
It'll be interesting.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I hope not, right? But I know my own personal experience many years ago in college, I personally had an incident with a basketball that went, and I felt awful, and I took care of it.
You were the one shooting the
I
ball?
was. It was a block.
Oh.
And I knocked it,
Nice block.
and hit right in square onto a windshield. It was awful. So I understand what's possible.
You have that on video, though?
No, thank heavens.
6C, Recreation Supervisor Ellen Clough.
You know, I've been coming in here, Sean and Corey are doing one terrific
They're-
job.
they're a
They-
good
They
team.
seem to be enjoying themselves, and they're doing
They
a
work
lot.
well together.
They do.
They
Yeah,
do.
they do.
I mean,
And even
everybody
with
does.
Ellen.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
but
they came in and saw the cookies that they had baked for, they baked
Yeah.
all the cookies for this event
Yeah.
on December 2nd.
really?
They did.
And Ellen, all of them did, but yeah,
Three
when
of them
when I
did.
spent a little time with those two guys, they went to the state conference with me there, and, you know, I just spent some time just saying what a great addition they are to the team.
they are,
They're a good team
absolutely.
together, they worked, you know, they did the flag football on Thursdays together with the 14 kids. They're gonna be doing on Friday nights, not paintball, I'm sorry,
Paintball.
not paintball.
We
Laser
needed
tag.
the walls.
A laser tag, they're gonna be here running it on Friday nights with the kids, and, so, they're a good team.
If they're working well with Ellen, it's just really
Yeah.
nice to see
Yeah.
them. And I'm glad we were talking about this, I'm glad Friday night went well.
Friday went really well. Claire, you were here, right?
So much fun.
It was
perfect.
It just shows that Guilford has so much to offer, and, I mean, you could have done so many things on Friday night to go to the
Yeah.
Christmas tree lighting.
Yeah.
The library had stuff, we had stuff,
Sure.
Whitfield House, the church. It was just such a nice community feel.
And it was kind of, I don't want to say real short notice, but usually that night, the Magic Toy Shop was here.
Yes.
And they told us they were going to be at the high school this year, first time in 24 years
Yeah.
or something. And so, you know, I said to the staff, well, gee, you know, we have an opportunity, let's do something. So I said, come up with something. And they did. They came up with this, Ellen and the two
Notebook,
guys
the books, yeah.
came up with the whole plan here, and they did a nice job with it. And, you know, Ellen thought about 200 people came through. And then this Friday, we have it's not really a redo of what we did this past Friday, but Soup with Santa is happening this Friday night. And there'll be soup and, I think, grilled cheese sandwiches or something. And then Santa will be here and some more crafts and things for the kids
What
again.
time does she do that, do you know? I'll ask her, I'll see.
I think it starts at 5 or 5:30.
Does it start at 5, you think?
I think it's 5:30 to 7:30 or 5 to 7:30.
Yeah, I forgot the time, yeah, I have
Okay.
to look it up.
Is that for kids or adults?
Kids.
Kids.
Well, unless you want to sit on Santa's lap, you can come.
You can bring your grandchild.
You're never too old to present your Christmas list.
That's true.
Yeah, that's right.
Go for it.
Laugh and let him know.
Well, then, in addition to grilled cheese, how about mac and cheese?
I mean, I'll stop in.
That's all they eat.
Would that be tomato soup with the grilled cheese?
Yeah,
Oh.
dippers.
Chicken noodle.
That's
And the
nice.
half-day programs that Ellen mentions here, this is there were 2 days in a row, I think, where the Adams School, or the schools were shut down half-day. Maybe it was teacher conference, I'm not sure, but, and you can see 75 to 100 kids were here. They were playing dodgeball, and the ceiling tiles, when they painted the ceiling tiles, which you've seen in the game room,
Oh, they came out
they
great.
didn't knock ceiling tiles out, they painted them.
They do look great down there.
They
Yeah.
do.
That was a wonderful idea, they look
I like the
fabulous.
addition of them into the ladies' bathroom downstairs, too. That was nice, if you haven't noticed them.
There were
Oh,
a
I
few
didn't-
extras, yeah,
I
so
didn't
that's
look.
where they went.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen those.
Well, obviously, hopefully not.
But now I've spoken to you, I will check those out now.
Yeah, they're really cute.
I never
Great job.
love color.
Well, look out.
You watch where you step.
Come on, Terry.
6D, Rick?
Terry's report there, well, a couple big things coming up is the Rotary Christmas Lunch on December 14th. Usually about 180, 200 seniors come to that. That's free. It's paid for by the Rotary. Guilford Voices usually comes and they sing. And
No, that's the 14th.
the 14th is the Rotary, but then the next one is the one that we're doing. Did I
This
send
is
the
the
note
senior
out?
one.
That's right, that's what I
And
had.
thank
That's what we
you,
serve,
all of you
yeah.
who are able to help out. And those of you can't, you work. We get it. But, yeah, right now I think there are 120, 125 people signed up for the The one on the,
Packed last year.
We did
Yeah.
this. Jack, didn't we serve last year?
Mhm.
Which
Indeed.
one was that for?
Yeah.
that would have been the
It
same
was-
one.
yeah.
That one.
Oh,
Indeed.
Yeah,
Because the
Hot
Rotary
roast.
guys all do the Rotary one.
right. There are like 30 Rotarians that come and do
They
that
take care of
one.
the whole thing. They have
Okay.
Yeah.
music, Johnsonville
Yeah.
comes. and
Yeah.
It's really a quite nice lunch. I go to that one too.
Judy, Jack's going to do it again. However, the evening before, I'm going to be on the Polar Express. So I hope it comes back.
I'm sure it will.
Get back in town. No, it's a great,
But I'll be
it's a
here on the
nice luncheon.
16th as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
I just have one question for you, Rick. September passenger miles at the bottom. That seems unusual. 22,000?
Did
It's
we
like-
take more trips in September?
Well, normally we do, but I gotta check. Did she mean,
Three
is it
more.
12,000? I can double check that.
Yeah.
Good question. I don't know.
You're like almost circumventing the globe right there around the equator with that one.
I'll check that. I can email you. I'll let you know if there's a correction on that.
Okay.
That seemed excessive. Yeah.
I mean, I know August was 10, but more than double.
Yeah, double.
No, it
Yeah.
probably is 12. It's probably a typo.
I'll check that.
You're right.
Good catch. But seniors are hopping like usual.
Yep.
But why are there a few less Meals on Wheels?
I was just looking at.
Yeah, you know, it's cyclical. It comes and goes a
It
little
comes and
bit.
goes, yeah.
You know, even for us, our meals were a little bit less, almost 100 less than the
Right.
previous year.
Yeah.
You know, if you think of it, if you lose one or two seniors, and if they come 4 days a week,
That adds up.
I mean, that's, in a month, that's 16 less right there, just, you know, one person.
That's true.
So that, you know, that happens, or sometimes people are sick, or,
Yep.
you know, whatever.
Okay.
And the meals in the community center, they're 4 days a week.
Yes.
And not 5.
Right.
Meals on Wheels, is that 5? Or is that 4 as well?
It's 7, really. I mean,
Seven?
they
Oh, for
provide.
weekends, that's right.
Right, so
Okay.
usually on Wednesday or Thursday, they make the meals for the weekend, and it's, you know, it goes out, it's frozen or whatever, but, yeah.
And where does that program get its funding? Meals on Wheels? Is it funded by the town?
Partly
Are there
self-funded.
grants or?
It's, well, people pay,
There's a subscription to it.
donations, you know, like, I think for the tree lighting, most of the events that are in the churches, there are collections
The
for
handbill
Meals on
flyers,
Wheels.
Yeah, the church handbill flyers.
Yeah.
We went to that.
Okay.
I think the Rotary Lobster Fest, some of the money goes to Meals on Wheels from that, so they get it
What
from
about the
donations.
lasagna dinner here?
Yeah, the patriotic dinner,
The lasagna dinner here goes towards that.
yeah.
I missed that one.
They also
Yeah.
get money from the Human Services
Mhm.
Council.
Plus
I'm
what they
sorry, I
take
didn't hear
in.
you.
They also get money from Human Services Council.
I thought, okay, yeah, all right.
Plus what they collect. Okay.
Item 7, Rick 7A, Standing Fields Committee.
I think I pretty much touched on it. The main focus has
That would be
been
good.
You did?
the Cox Field, the high school baseball
You
field.
did?
Did they fix the issue on the new turf, that little berm?
Good question. There was, the contractor came back and was working on that about 3 weeks ago. Don't know if it's all resolved yet. Till now, we haven't really had much rain till recently, so I didn't get out there today, but, you know, it's still under warranty, and it's their responsibility, you know, and the engineering firm got them to come back out and do whatever they did, but I don't know if I can't tell you it's completed, I don't know that, but I know they were out there, I saw them one day when I was out, looking at the new turf field.
And this may be a question for the building committee, but is that a practice field? Or is that,
The
because?
sod field?
Yeah, because there's nowhere to sit. There's no bleachers or anything, so.
Practice.
Practice field.
So in the fall, it was
Very nice
practice for
field.
football only. I'm anticipating in the spring, we're probably gonna put a youth lacrosse field out there. I think we're gonna need the space for it, and probably not soccer, it's a little bit small for soccer, but I think lacrosse could possibly go out there. Or younger soccer, you know, younger kids.
7D, Green Committee.
No report, there wasn't a meeting.
7C, Land Acquisition Commission, that would be me. I didn't go to the meeting last week, I had a conflict. And sadly, it was the first meeting in about 4 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they haven't been having meetings.
Catherine, is there anything you could report on that? Not executive session things, but nothing? Okay, anything in public session that?
No.
No, okay. I'm glad I missed it. Eight, unfinished business, 8A, I think we've covered that, Lake Quantapug report. 8B, repairs and refurbishing of the community center. Rose, Rick?
Now, Rick has sent out, we're trying to get bids to get the Guilford room painted at least.
Yeah, we just got it, actually, and we have a contractor, we just got the purchase order back. It was
Okay.
Perez Painting. So we will be doing the Guilford Whitfield room with a contractor.
Good.
Todd's working with them, so I don't know if there's a date set up yet. We gotta find out when there's time we can get in
I talked to Todd
there.
last Friday and no date was set up
Yeah.
yet, but that doesn't mean it hasn't
Mhm.
happened since.
And other than that, there are a couple of electrical outlets that weren't working properly. Todd and the Steve Nidor from the Facilities Department would help with that. I think there's a light switch in the Monuckatuck room that it needed to be replaced, and they did that. So Steve's been helping Todd with some of that, so it's good that some of those things are getting, nothing you really notice, you wouldn't see.
Right.
But the work that they've been doing to make some improvements.
And they've also looked into the carpeting.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
all being looked into, nothing's happened just yet. We're working
It's
on it.
in the works.
It's coming, it's coming.
So in conjunction with the Guilford Whitfield room, we're also getting a new roof there soon. It's on the way.
For the whole building, yeah.
Yeah, for the whole building.
Yeah. It's in this year's budget. In fact, we have a meeting tomorrow with the architects.
Yeah. Right.
But that won't make a difference with the tiles inside.
No.
We still have to get up there and get all those changed.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's a chore, okay.
I was thinking more of the structure of it.
Yeah.
But you're right. 8C, Jacobs Beach Boardwalk Extension.
Will Thompson is working on it, he's been working on it, but he reported to Rick that within the next couple of weeks, he should have the design finished for that. So that'll be good to see. Other than that, I don't
It's
know
coming
of
along.
anything. It's getting there, yes.
I
One
mean-
step
It's
closer.
hard to do anything in
Do
December.
we have an estimate, though, that if it'll be ready for spring or summer?
That I haven't heard.
I think the goal is to have it ready.
I was gonna say, I think
I
the
hope-
hope was
I
that,
hope, yeah.
but.
Because the last one, the boardwalk, it was built in the winter. Because I remember the guys were freezing down there. They had propane, these jet heaters to try to keep their hands warm. It's cold anywhere, but down by the water,
Yeah,
it's
it depends on
tough.
the weather too.
Yeah.
That was the goal, so
Mhm.
we're hoping
Okay.
to stay
Let's
on
hope
it,
it,
but,
yeah.
yeah.
8D, Rick Upper Coxfield renovation, did you cover that
I think we
sufficiently?
addressed all that, yeah.
Yeah?
8E, transportation policy.
It should be in your packet, right?
Yeah, it is. We gave it to them last month,
Right.
So I think I mentioned at the last meeting that I don't want to make it look like, I came up with this policy. I didn't. I mean, there are towns who have good policies, and I looked at some of the things that Madison had, and Branford, and borrowed a lot of what they had, and I thought a lot of this was pretty good. We adapted a few things specifically to Guilford on this, but as you know, we didn't have a written policy. Some of these things we might have been doing anyway, but there's nothing really in writing. Actually, probably all of us we were doing in one way or another. But now it's clearly spelled out. I think that one thing that's important is that if we have to deny service to somebody, we have to have a backup of why we
Right.
denied that service. And I think, did we put that in here? I think we did. Excuse me.
We have to meet the qualifications for it.
They meet the qualifications, age and so on, and ability to, yeah, ambulatory things, and we've added in here that if they are not capable of being, mobilizing themselves and need an aid, they have to provide the aid. And I think we spelled that out a little bit in here.
Ambulatory, independent, and oriented.
Yes.
And it,
I knew that was in there somewhere.
It's under
Yeah, I read it
eligibility,
somewhere.
in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's 55 and older, ambulatory,
Right,
independent, and
yeah.
oriented, who do not drive their own vehicles. And then individuals who are not
By NA.
Right.
sufficiently alert or not ambulatory or in a wheelchair need to be accompanied by an aide by the right.
Yeah, we specified that because somebody who was in a wheelchair, but they could maneuver themselves, or had a motorized one,
Right.
they're under the impression that they could not get serviced by us because they didn't have an aide. And we said, no, you can, if you don't need
As
someone
long as
to,
they can get to the bus with it.
that's it.
Yeah.
We just can't have our drivers going to their door, bringing them out and getting them on the bus. We can't do that.
The only thing I would suggest on the reservations for number 7,
Wait,
where-
let me
where-
get there, wait.
Parks and Recreation Department reserves the right to cancel a person's transportation privileges for continued failure to show up for a scheduled ride. I would just probably quantify that, after so many cancellations, you're denied service. I mean, this
How
gives.
much is continued, once,
Yes,
twice, 3
okay.
times,
Right.
5 times, 10 times?
That's something that, you can look at under policies, or you can decide for yourself as to what the policy should be. But it gives
Do you
you
think
the,
she put a number
it gives
down?
you a hammer to say, I'm sorry, after 5 times, we can't do it for you anymore, or after 4 times, or whatever you feel is fair.
Okay.
The other question I have is, if you only have one passenger, and you're taking them to the barber shop or the hairdresser, do they wait there, or do
No.
you bring them back, the driver back here?
Yeah, or
Okay.
he may have 4 or 5 other people on the bus, so he drives somebody off at
Or if he
the,
has nobody? What if he has nobody? and
then
it's just a-
he'll come back here and pick somebody up and,
Okay.
they don't stay there and wait.
yeah, but if there's a medical appointment out of town, they might stay there though.
They might,
They
if
might.
it's,
Yeah.
depending how
Well,
far it
obviously,
is, if it's
the
in New
VA, they
Haven.
don't come running back.
No. If it's gonna be a quick, if it's gonna be a 2 or 3 hour appointment,
Then
they're probably
they-
gonna leave, come back, they'll just mother and go back, but, and what, the VA hospital is not part of our regular
Right.
route, that's a special occasion we go there.
So we're not doing that regularly, actually.
Right.
So
Right.
this is still pretty much on demand then? It's not like Mondays we go to North Haven, Tuesdays we go to
Correct.
Madison. This is still, you call up 24 hours in advance,
Mm-hmm.
you schedule an appointment, and you
Yep.
fulfill their
But
needs.
specific days of the week, they only stay, or specific mornings, they'll stay only in Guilford.
Okay.
Or
Right.
just do the shopping, and then maybe they'll leave in the afternoon. It is not terribly specific, but there are some guidelines.
If I was gonna make a doctor's appointment, I wanna make sure I make a doctor's
If it's-
appointment on the day that you are gonna be able to get to me.
It's on the seniors letter that they send out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which days they'll go where, and what days you could do your doctor's appointments, what days
It's gotta
you
be
shop.
within
It's all
our
there.
operating hours too,
Okay.
Well, you
It
made that
can't be
clear,
past
right.
4 o'clock, I think we might even say that in here.
Yes.
Because our drivers are done at 4 roughly, and, if somebody has an appointment at 4,
I know it
Yeah,
says
hours
it
of
in the-
operation.
in the seniors letter that goes out there.
yeah.
Do you have this policy on our website?
Well, it's gotta be approved by you guys.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying is, okay, so it's still tentative.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, but once we establish it, then
Yeah.
it will be posted so anybody can look at it on the
Right.
website. Okay.
I've got some
Looking to going
suggestions
into
and
the
maybe
supermarket
questions
on
too.
Tuesdays?
I won't spend a lot of time on them, but if I have to, maybe we could have a committee just work on it some other time.
There's typos.
Yeah,
Well,
but.
we can take care of those these days.
Well, under eligibility subsection 1, it must be accompanied by an aid to be provided by the driver.
Rider.
But, I'm sorry, the rider,
Yes.
excuse me, thank you, Rose. I mean, as I understand, it could be a healthcare aide, it could be a family member, it could be
Right.
a companion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I just don't want it misinterpreted, that would have to be, say, an aid provided by the department or by the seniors commission or anything.
No, that's why we made it
That's
clear,
why it's
provided by the
by the
rider,
rider.
that we're not providing it. Yeah.
Uh,
Did you look into going to the supermarkets on Tuesdays?
I was gonna ask
and I
about
think I
that.
asked about that. and I
Senior
think they said
Tuesday?
that, I think, trying to remember, because you folks asked that,
Yes,
I
yes,
brought it up.
yes.
Trying to remember what it was. I think Terry had contacted the Big Y, and he said, if you have a group of seniors come on Thursday, we'll honor the same discounts, whatever it is on Tuesday. So I think there was not a big difference, they were gonna honor it anyway. If they knew that we're bringing a group of seniors every week, whatever the Tuesday discount
They'll do
deal is, they would do it on Thursday too.
On subsection 2, medical transportation, the draft
May.
limits it to over age 21. You might want to consider 18, because that's the legal age. And that's also consistent with other policies as well. As long as, some department doesn't misinterpret it by saying, oh, we have some 18-year-old students at high school who, they would have their own transportation. But 18 is the legal age.
But it does say permanently or temporarily disabled.
Yeah. Or temporarily, yeah.
And then right where it says or temporarily disabled, it says it should be may
may.
Oh,
receive
yeah.
service.
Yeah.
Just a little A needs to get put in there. What's west to New Haven?
What's that?
The west to New Haven?
That's
Well,
the
I have a
drive from
question.
West to New Haven.
Well,
I have a question on that, too.
Yale, or any, doctors in New
Doctors
Haven.
in New Haven?
West New Haven would, it implies, but it doesn't state, it implies North Branford, East Haven, and Branford. As it probably should. Because we also have it as far east as Westbrook.
Right.
And that would
And as
include
far west
Clinton.
as New Haven.
west as.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should say as far west to, okay,
As New Haven.
As-
yeah,
Keep the language the same.
yeah,
Yeah, that way, yeah.
One end to the other.
okay.
You might even want to draw a map and put a map in with this package showing exactly the boundaries of where the vehicle will travel.
So, on number 6, under eligibility, where it says Parks and Recreation staff reserve the right to assess the ability of participants to safely and appropriately use transportation services. Is that a responsibility that should be not as broad as staff? That's a pretty,
Well, we
It should be the
rely a
seniors
lot on our bus
coordinator.
drivers. If our drivers
Bus drivers.
observe, they would not make the decision, it'd have to come back to Terry or me.
well, so I was gonna say maybe Terry.
Right, it should be.
Yeah,
Just
well, that's who it
staff.
is, yeah, I
Should
mean,
be the
de-
seniors coordinator.
We're talking
Right.
about two things. We're talking about the people who have the right to assess, and then we're talking about the people who make the decision.
Yeah, and I feel like staff's a
So
pretty
you
broad.
probably need to add a statement there about who makes the final decision.
Yeah.
The final
I wouldn't
decision
want
is made by.
the general staff to be responsible for that
can't.
versus somebody
No.
who's
Yeah.
like Terry.
No, but we do need to give them the right to assess, because
Oh,
they're-
absolutely.
They're on the front lines here.
Right.
Oh, absolutely, but as far as making the decision, that seems like something that should be more under the guise of someone who's a
Absolutely.
director.
Under the, you can just even say the senior programs coordinator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even have to mention the
Staff's
name,
too broad.
Oh, I wouldn't mention any name.
Yeah.
No.
just a coordinator.
Yes.
Staff's too,
Right.
because
What
staff
if
changes.
Terry's on vacation and she's not available?
Or director.
Or
Should
the
you just
director.
say senior staff
Or the director.
member?
Or the director.
Director.
If they- if there's- if
That's
people are-
that's
if
consistent
people-
with other policies.
If the bus drivers are noticing something, and Terry isn't here, they certainly can go to Rick.
but Terry couldn't
Yeah, but if
anyway,
you're
I
gonna
think,
write
anyway.
it down,
You want one
You
and then a
want-
backup.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Either
The
something
senior program
more
coordinator
generic.
Or the director. Park and Rec director.
And that's partially covered on the last page under safety. So it references back and forth, I guess.
Should it be an and not an or? So that maybe it would go to Terry, but instead of her making the one decision, it should be a tandem decision so that you have like a check and balance?
I would leave it in or.
You should do that.
Why
Because what if I'm
two people,
away
he's
or
not there,
something,
And
and-
it's an and or.
And they have to make a decision like that moment or something.
Yeah, I would leave it or.
The only other thing that you
Tie
might
their
want to,
hands here.
the other thing you might want to consider here is an appeals process. If you deny them, do you give the resident the right to appeal the decision?
I know for one thing, Terry discusses this long and hard with these people. It's not,
Okay.
this is not something that's being
Made
done
lightly.
lightly. She also, before anything happens, she'll talk to their family.
Right.
Okay.
So this isn't something that they just, say, okay, sorry, you can't do this. No, she talks to the family, they try to work out things. So I think she's got it. I think we do it well.
Yeah,
Well, that might be
all of
the-
our staff,
okay, well,
I
I
think,
was
go
gonna
out of the way to
suggest,
do everything we can to
appeals
help people,
process.
not to try to hinder anything. I mean, that's the way we do things here.
Well, if they came in and started to say, well, we're gonna get an aid and we're gonna do this and this, and this, nobody, then we're gonna say, fine.
All right, I want one. No, well, we'll talk about that another time, Rose, but there probably should be an appeals process. Not a lengthy one, but I know Terry counsels, explains and explains and explains. But then the patient or the client goes home and talks to the spouse or the son who's a lawyer or something.
But Terry does call the family.
I understand. I understand.
So maybe there's a three-strike, you're out, you talk,
Well-
you get it, but I think that has to be fine-tuned.
It does exist elsewhere, but
Yeah, what do other towns do?
They have appeals
Everything,
process.
exactly. We have to let some common sense.
the executive director or to a subcommittee of the commission.
So if other towns do it, why wouldn't we mirror the process that other towns have in place,
Well,
not reinvent it,
I
but
think we
just...
should, but, we're divided on that
Yeah.
right now.
I didn't see anything in the policy that I was looking at that I kind of mirrored a lot from. I didn't see anything about an appeals process, but if you want me to put something in,
I'll send you some language.
you have some?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
All right. Yeah, I mean, we're making changes anyway. Now's the time to do it.
I think John's right, though, because, I understand Terry it's not done lightly, and if it gets to that point, there's been a long process. However, is that forever? Is it for 6 months?
Yeah.
Is it until you correct the things that have caused you to get to that point?
Or if the condition
Changes?
changes,
Yeah.
no, worsens or gets better,
Mhm.
what's the qualification? That's
I mean, it
what-
protects her too.
Yeah.
But it's also what they call due process for the client, but
Yes.
rather, I'd rather do it
Because you
now
know that
than
that
have a
would be...
judge tell me that.
That would be an issue that would come back to us as, well, you said I can't do it, but for how long? That's going to be the next question, or a family's question.
I'll send it out tomorrow to Rick and
Okay.
members of the commission.
I have a question on reservations, lined, bullet point number 2. The client must be ready for a return ride home by 3:30. If they're not ready by 3:30, what happens?
Well,
Especially with you have a driver.
We're not gonna leave somebody there, and we'll get them, but I think the whole point here is that we don't want somebody to be making appointments at 3 or 3:30 in the afternoon, now our driver's tied up till 5.
Right.
It's just getting a message out, you gotta make your appointments early enough so we can get you there and get you back. We're not gonna leave somebody there, if the appointment for whatever reason goes longer than that, we're gonna get them,
Okay.
But you have to have a policy, you always veer from that policy, not always, occasionally you veer from the policy when it makes sense to do that, but you have to have something in writing to, have guidelines.
Under special assistance, Rick, two suggestions. One, it reads, all transportation services are curb to curb.
Right.
Now, we don't have a policy, but it's posted on the seniors newsletter, door to door.
And that's wrong. That's gonna change. It's not door to door. They misunderstood what that meant.
What about the driveway, though? I mean,
Well, driveway, yeah.
yeah, but when I think of curb, I think of
Hit the
the
street.
curb on the street.
Yeah, well, I know you do, but that's, and I understand that, but that's it's pretty much the language they use, state DOT, that there's door to door versus curb to curb. Door to door means you'll go to the person's door, you'll help them out the door. And curb to curb basically means you're not gonna do that. Yes, it could be the driveway, but if you say door to door, it means you'll actually go to their door and help them out, which we can't do.
Driver to get out in the.
Yeah.
But as long as we're clear, but more importantly, consistent on that.
Yeah.
And
Right.
enforcing it.
And if it's on that site, it does need to come down and be changed.
It's in the newsletter, which we have to change that.
But the newsletter's gonna be
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah.
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 Or
Down-
when it's on the site.
down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's got to change anyway, but I think, Terry and Patty are waiting for this to get approved,
before they
and then we'll
change that.
do the
That
whole
makes-
thing.
That's-
Yeah,
That's why we're doing this.
yeah.
Well, that's consistent with his next sentence, saying that they're only going to open and close the vehicle door.
Right.
That
Right.
they're not going to leave the vehicle, because you can't leave the
Can't.
vehicle without the clients in the.
You can't, by town's insurance regulations too, we can't do it. Now, having said that, the drivers would be
They
willing
help.
to do it, but they can't.
They can't.
You know, I mean, our drivers are that kind of people that if somebody needs help, they would do it, but we've told them you can't leave the bus. You can go out of the bus to help somebody
Off the steps.
off the steps onto
And
the
they do
steps,
that all the
but you
time.
can't walk 20, 30, 40, 50 feet away. Yeah.
Or even one person.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not home health care.
No.
It shouldn't
No,
be.
That's a different level.
Again, under special assistance, number 3, this is more for the driver's benefit. If, you know, I would say if a bag or a parcel or a package is too heavy or too large, the driver shouldn't be required to take it. And an extreme example is, let's say they go to Walmart, and the person wants to buy a television. The driver shouldn't have to carry that.
Actually, the television's lighter than a bag of salt. Or a
Well,
bag of
well,
birdseed, let's think about that.
Well, then we could say heavier than 50 pounds, I don't know, but the driver shouldn't
Has
be
that
put in that
happened?
position to do that.
Actually, that's a good point, because if you do it from a commercial standpoint, UPS drivers are limited to the
50
amount.
pounds.
Well, 70 really,
70
70
pounds?
pounds.
Oh,
So if, you know, 5 bags is, again, very nebulous. I mean, you could have a lunch bag, or you could have, you know, a big, huge garbage bag.
Trips are going to big wide.
Yes, well, keep in mind, once they get home, they gotta carry that bag in the house, so, you know.
So,
Well, for consistency's sake, I know now it may have changed, but as of 3 years ago, the school requirement for pairs to lift students was up to 50. You had to be able to lift 50 pounds.
Well, it's on the
So-
test they give them, that's right. The
But you
assessment,
have to be
yeah.
able to do the job, you have to be able to lift up to 50
Yeah.
pounds, or 50
Yeah.
pounds.
Right.
So if we kept consistent with the town policy as far as weight and lifting, and
Yeah.
we could do it 50 pounds.
so you could say limited to 5 bags not weighing more than,
50 pounds.
Now we're gonna get so that you
That's a
have to
lot of
have a
groceries.
scale before you can get on the bus. How
Got to stop somewhere.
We,
specific.
if we're gonna lean in one direction, I think we have to lean in the direction of the driver,
Mm-hmm.
and something like this.
Well, look at it this way, a gallon of water weighs 8 pounds,
Oh,
so.
does it really?
Yes, it does. So you have to be prepared for something, and somebody's gonna, 6 gallons of water, you're there already. I mean, it's.
Again, keep in mind, once they get home, the seniors have to carry that bag into the house, so I don't think they're gonna carry 50-pound bags anyway, but we can add that.
No,
it just covers it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
it does.
So we can cover it.
I think you're right, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But it establishes the
Yeah.
limitations as to what the drivers can and can't handle.
Yeah.
And then over on safety, Rick, under 1, it says they're required to wear safety belts.
Yeah,
Is there a
seat
difference
belts.
between a safety belt and a seat belt?
I wrote that too.
Same
Safety
thing.
belt now
thing.
would consider, if you have lap belts, I don't know, do the
Yeah.
buses have lap belts on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then it's have to be, then safety belt would be considered a lap belt.
Seatbelt?
Seat belt is old school 1960s across the waist. Lap belt is across the shoulder.
Okay.
That's the new lingo for the
Oh,
Yes.
cross.
so what do the buses have, our buses?
Yeah, I can't remember what's on those.
Well, just make it consistent with what.
I think they have, some have lap and some have the,
Okay, well, they could, okay, as
So
long as
safety
there's
belt's a
something to
little more-
secure them.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think some of the older ones maybe just have a lap.
Yeah.
But the
And,
last
you know,
one I was
when
on
you
had
get new
the
buses,
other
maybe next year, they
Okay.
might have a different
The older
style.
buses are, yeah.
Okay, I never.
Is there some code for that, or a requirement that buses do have to have the harness versus the old, if they're antiquated and those aren't acceptable any
Yeah.
longer? For like, from an
That's
insurance,
a good point of view.
an
don't
insurance
know.
standpoint?
School
Maybe they
buses
need to
don't
be
have
upgraded?
Well, Kerma would have told you.
Yeah.
Kerma would have said so.
They're familiar, they know what
If
we
they
have for
had-
buses,
okay.
they
So
insure
someone's-
them.
Yeah.
Someone in authority has laid eyes on them
Kerma
and
knows,
given their
they-
blessing.
Kerma comes and checks all these things.
Okay, that's all.
Yeah, whatever's on the bus.
But you know something, the bus drivers should announce that though before they leave.
Hmm,
You need to
Yeah.
remind them to do that.
Sure,
hmm. Yeah, that's a good.
protects the bus driver too.
I mean, they may keep doing it all the time, I'm not sure, but I think it's worth announcing every
Well,
time.
yeah.
Company
Sure it is.
vehicles that
Everybody
I-
have their seatbelt on, just to
Sure
remind,
is.
because they're gonna
The company
forget.
vehicles that I drive on a daily basis, first question, they ask you, the investigator asks you, were you wearing your safety belt?
Right.
Very first question. It doesn't matter, are you hurt? No. Or were you wearing your safety belt? And then it progresses from there as to what, yes.
But Jill, a lot of the seniors aren't used to wearing seatbelts.
But I'm telling you, first
They grew up, we all grew up in cars with no seatbelts.
Yeah, no,
You
you're
know,
right.
now
No,
it's
you're
a
right.
habit to me, but
No, you're right.
somebody maybe 20 years older than me, it may not be such a habit to them.
Yeah, but we're not driving MGs around.
Well, you'd think they'd want one. I mean, I don't know.
But it's just worth
They
announcing.
qualify
I
as
think.
one.
Sure, we won't put that in here, but we'll remind them to do that.
Under D, under safety, Rick, where it reads, "The individual is belligerent." Yeah, you could say, engaged in belligerent behavior, but also, like abrasive or harmful behavior. I'm taking it right out of other, and I'll send you that as well. And it-
Broader terms, like a range of.
Just
say Yeah. no
politics allowed to be discussed.
I mean, there's several others out.
greenways, nothing,
You just want a few more, a little more
Descriptions.
descriptive.
Yeah, and
Belligerent.
I have now. I'll send them out to the commission and to Rick tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to protect the department.
Better to have more than less.
Obnoxious, can that go in there?
Well, yes.
Well, there's
Arrogant,
physically,
obnoxious, yes.
and there's verbally abusive, and there's
Yeah.
physically, so
Yeah.
those are two different things.
Yeah.
Someone could be, not the other, or both.
Actually, abusive covers everything other than belligerent, because that's a more of a legal term.
We'll have to ask Dr. Phil about that one.
So would you have this corrected and then send to us before, or do we vote on it
We'll do
with
that.
the
Let's
corrections?
vote on it next time, Rick.
Yeah, it's still.
We've been, it's been here a long time
We've been working
anyway.
on it, so-
It's worth it.
Work in progress.
It's worth it. It really is.
But if we're down to the final draft, we might as well wait to see that it's correct and then.
Yeah.
So we'll make the corrections and bring it for the next meeting.
Sure.
Thanks, Rick.
Or maybe can we send out the corrections, just so
Sure.
we can give it another, maybe there
Yeah.
might be typos or something.
Yeah.
And that'll eliminate having
then
to
we
do
can
it
get that.
again to keep us from voting?
That's even better.
So if we get the corrected copy
Earlier.
earlier, then if there are any typos, we can send them back so that when we vote next month, we're voting on the corrected
Yes.
final
It'll
draft.
go
The
quickly.
final draft.
Great.
Thank you.
And so I'll wait, Jack, you said you have some wording you want to send me. When you send that, then I'll add those to this and the other changes.
And you get an extra week next month.
Wow.
I mean,
Sounds
there's
like
your
bonus.
Bonuses.
time.
Okay.
8F, 5-year capital budget. Yeah,
Can I ask a question? I'm sorry I missed the meeting.
please do.
But under the 5-year capital, not the equipment, but the projects. 2019, 2020, we didn't put weed control in there? We put it every other year. Why did we skip that year?
I think 'cause it's a big year with the garage. But
What were we gonna
we will
do?
have had 3 years in a row at that point. And I thought we could maybe give it a year, a break, and see how things are going, and we just put it back in the next, we can put it in if you, well, we can't, we
I
already
don't,
handed this
I
in.
mean, I don't think the Lake Quantico.
Yeah, but it'll be 3 years straight,
It's a big lake.
3 years, and
You can
then,
put it in there, Rick, but let me just say, as a backdrop to the whole thing,
Yeah.
they were very clear at the meeting, specifically the Board of Selectmen, that they wanted everybody presenting the capital plans to focus primarily on the upcoming year.
right, so that can get added in later, yeah.
Yeah, we could add it in now,
Yeah.
too. No, we could add it in now, too, but otherwise, I'll forget
Right.
in 3 years.
The selectmen only want us to focus on 1 year at a time?
Right, even though it's.
I mean, just 1 year, and the rest is just shaded over until the
See,
next
that's just
cycle comes in.
maybe.
Yeah.
The detail, the backup detail we had to do for next year, we didn't have to have a lot of backup detail for 2, 3, 4 years out.
Allowing for flexibility.
Yeah,
It's a rolling, budget for 5 years, but they're thinking about the budget starting July 1st, 2017. Yeah. In fact, I made the comment, I probably shouldn't have, as far as something in 2022, I said, that's like giving me a post-dated check.
yeah.
that could be canceled at any
Well,
time.
of course, the numbers will change by,
Yeah.
as we get
I'm
closer
sure they
to.
do.
Yeah.
So my other question was,
Yeah.
I think, so you were the one who brought this up, I think, in the minutes about the synthetic turf at the high school.
Yeah. That's not this coming year anyway, so that's good. But, yeah,
Well-
go ahead, Rick. Yeah, no, it's
The
not.
engineering services for it are in here.
Next year, yeah.
And it seems to me, it really ought to be a shared,
We had a discussion about that with the
Item.
first selectman
Yeah.
at that meeting.
okay, and
Yeah.
why isn't it shared?
Well, without quoting him or putting him in a tough spot, he was of the mind that that is a shared responsibility between the town side of the government, which includes us, and the Board of Education. So he's gonna take a look at that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, so
I
that,
think-
so that maybe have,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
and Jack will
Yeah.
tell you, I think, I didn't sense there was a lot of acceptance on the part of the Board of Selectmen as a whole, that it should be totally funded by the town. My guess is it may end up, the suggestion it might go half,
okay. I think.
which is what we originally had
Right, okay,
proposed anyway.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just to make this little,
I mean, only because if we look at the next year, I mean, $550,000, that's our money that we could have spent on other things that we
Yep.
don't, it's not right.
Like around here.
Like getting the rest of this building looking good.
Paint it on the
yeah,
outside.
but just to make it a little easier, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Can't count.
You did.
This is the, I picked it up at the meeting, or maybe I shouldn't have, but I did. It makes it a little easier to look at. When the Board of Finance put it in the form, and you'll see, this is our requests for 2017, 2018. And it includes both sections of the report that Rick prepared for us. And
Yeah,
you'll see
this
the
one's-
categories, building improvement, land improvement, information system, machines and equipment and vehicles. And then you'll see where I have the 217, 218, for 2017, 2018, that would cost $525,367.
Actually, this is pretty good.
Yeah. So that gives you the, and Rick, Rick presented all the backup to them, which I'm sure was very, very helpful to them. And also, again, for you to have here, look at and keep, 1, 2, 3, it's the total 5-year capital plan for the town. And we're included in that, of course, but this gives you the big picture on what other departments are asking for too. And that, so all of those, all the departments, if you add them all up to 2017, 2018, that's $2,767,304. And I have to say this, first of all, big caution, well, not Rick, but me, you know how much money that is? So, yeah. You need another one?
For the two that are missing tonight,
Oh, I'll send them out to them.
you'll send it out to them?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Rick wants. And just for comparison's sake, 2, 3, 2. This is the 5-year capital plan that they adopted last year. Oh, thank you. I know it's a lot, but, it's better to have more information than not enough. And Rick, I don't know if you have it, I know John asked for it last month, and you gave me a copy of it, but
Jack, do you have one more? I think
yeah, which one, Rick?
For a 5-year capital improvement, the last one you handed out.
For
I
2016?
want to do it to Kathy for the records.
Sorry, Cal. I know John asked for it. I'm not sure if you had a chance to give it to him or not, but he wanted a copy of the asset lists for the department.
I think I just gave it to you, I think, for that meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Great.
So here's the, John.
Yikes.
2, 4.
So did we do everything that was on the list from last year, Rick?
Girls, you want to just take one of those and pass it down?
I gotta look at the list, I can retell you. Which one is this?
No, the current list is 2016, 2017, are we on?
Yeah.
What's this?
There's only approximately 20 to 25 items there, right?
No, I know that.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, I mean, the 5-year
Don't ask,
plan
you
I
don't
put
get.
together was 40 items on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking for what.
What are you looking at, Rose?
So it's 17. All right, well, we didn't do the decking at Jacobs yet, that's in progress. The enclosed trailer we have not purchased yet. We have the multi-purpose vehicle, that just came in 2 weeks ago. The weed control, we did that, and we'll do a little bit more in the spring. The painted community center, we just got the purchase order for that. The walk-behind mower, we have that.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Everything but the trailer so far and the Jacobs Beach boardwalk.
Okay, so are we getting the trailer
Yep, Tony's gonna be looking into that.
before the end of the year?
Yes?
Okay.
So those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items are what is approved in our current capital plan for this year then?
Right.
There's
Correct.
6 items,
Right.
of which we have purchased how many?
We've done it.
All but 2.
All but 2.
Right.
Okay.
And one's in process right now, the boardwalk at Jacobs, which is not coming out of the general fund, and the trailer.
I'm going to plead ignorance here. What is funding source for SF?
Special funds.
Special funds?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the only listing on the entire?
Yeah. Well, 'cause yeah.
So are we talking about grant money or this, or is that,
We're talking about our reimbursable fund.
okay.
It's part of the auditor's report. It's not off to the side, it's an integral part of the financials of the town of Guilford.
But it's still part of the town budget, so,
It is.
yes.
It is.
Okay.
Just look at the first one, though, the page 101, and that's the plan that we were working on the other day, the town. It's the one page, page 101, 101. We'd had in the draft that we had come up with about a month ago here, we had updating the sound system for that big room downstairs, the Guilford
The Guilford
Whitfield
Whitfield
room.
room.
I think Rick removed it with the rationale that it wasn't a capital project because it was less than $5,000. So it's not on this. I'm going to tell you, I raised it at that meeting about replacing the sound system, and First Selectman said yes. So it may come out of our reimbursable account. If it's more than $5,000, it may not. But there's going to be new sound system down there, which we desperately need.
Who
Yes.
set the criteria for $5,000? Is that the Board of Selectmen?
Yeah.
Board of Finance.
Or Board of
Board
Finance?
of Finance, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the minimum for capital.
Minimum is 5,000?
Yeah, and bonding is something else, and, and then also I made a point, look at, I can't find it, look at, just give me a minute. Oh, okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth one down. replace the carpet in the community center corridor. That, on this, that's not scheduled to be done until the 2021, 2022 year. And I remember saying to the first selectman, well, just one more thing. I said, I don't want to sound like Inspector Columbo, but, you know, wouldn't it make sense maybe to package that with the carpets in the Alexander Lounge, the second floor corridor, and the game room? And that's when he said, well, gee, how much money, you know, this or that, you know? And my concern is and was and continues to be about the corridor downstairs, that it may not have been here 20 years, although I'm not sure, like some of the others, but it's clearly, without question, the most walked-upon, trafficked,
I agree.
used place in this whole building. Plus, we had the septic system issue there, too, which is a health issue. And I guess at one point, it was said, well, maybe you could think of some, a less expensive type of flooring, or
I thought,
Yeah.
I suggested flooring that could be easier washed and
okay.
sanitized.
Well, no, that's right. That's,
But I think when they researched everything, that the carpet turns out to be the better choice, so I'm not complaining about that.
no, but I'm saying in conjunction with,
But I think we all would like to see that downstairs hallway done as well, no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
yeah, but I guess just from a personal point of view, I don't want to wait until 2022, though. Or actually 2021 in July
Would be
1st.
next year, yeah.
I like that, and,
Oh, wait.
I mean, well, I think at some point, Rick has to get back to the first selectman to do some prioritization of some of these things, too.
Well, it has 1718 replaced carpets in Alexander on the second floor corridor.
Second
Never
floor.
mind, yeah.
I mean, that could easily be interchanged. If we think of priority was the corridor
What about
downstairs.
flipping it
No,
down
I
to the
think,
first
wait a
floor.
minute, no, I don't think it's a matter of flipping them. You're gonna do one of them now and not do the other one for 4 years? That's a
Well,
long
one of
time.
the select
They all are
people
hard.
responded back to that, was, well, it's just
They
at
get a
your
better
home, you
price?
can't necessarily do all the carpets in your room at once, you have to spread them out, so, spread out
But
the.
I don't think you could spread it out over 4 years, that's ridiculous.
Although that's the newest carpet we have in the building down there.
Yeah, but
That was done
it's used
5 or
more
6
than
years ago.
anything.
It is. The hallway carpet up here is original, it's 23 years
Yeah,
old.
these absolutely need to be done.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue
Yeah.
that, but I don't think we need to wait until 2021.
Well, again, as I think John, or one of you mentioned earlier, all
These
this can
things
change next year.
next year,
We
and
can
so
do
we
that
need
next
to
year
talk
and
about
move it
that
up.
next year.
Yeah.
Jack, I noticed that the town plan excludes Board of Education on this.
Yeah, 'cause their
So,
budgets are different.
what I'm thinking is that of all the schools we have, somebody's got to be doing some carpeting near term. Is it possible that we can marry our proposal with the Board of Education proposal in order to save either cost of installation or material?
There's much carpet in schools anymore.
I don't know. Well, to that point, there are, in the overall capital plan that I gave you, there are a couple of the departments that are planning to have carpeting done. Give you a- Yeah, no, and I was thinking the same thing. Maybe, in fact, there was one presenter, it was the first one, I can't remember her name.
Library?
It might have been library.
Sandy Rook?
It might have been.
Well, they're doing painting, that was their.
Because the library would need
Yeah,
carpeting
but
as
there,
well.
yeah, but John, thanks for reminding me of that. It's in all the departments, I think two of them are gonna do recarpeting. And it might be the town hall south, the town hall, and it might be youth and family services. And then, and another one's gonna do the same thing. So the point is, maybe that could be coordinated somehow.
Yeah, it's Youth and Family Services on
Yeah.
the very last
I
page.
just can't remember.
I just found it.
Yeah, okay.
Right, it's on page
Yeah.
3 of the 3x3.
I mean, it's another
What year are they
argument,
looking at, though?
it's another argument to make.
What year are they looking at?
They're looking at the 2018, 2019 budget
Well,
year.
we don't want to wait that long. Okay.
No, they're actually 3 years sooner than we are,
No, no, John, aren't they,
2019 is their carpet.
2019. So they're 3 years sooner than our request for the,
Yeah, and 2 years after our initial request.
Yes.
Years after our request,
Yeah.
yeah.
so they're smack in the middle.
They're in the middle.
But again, that could change if we work with them.
Things could change, absolutely.
Because we're only focusing on next year.
and I must say, you know, many towns don't have a purchasing director, but we do. And one of the things they do is coordinate things
Sure.
like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all heard at the budget hearings last year that, from the audience, well, there should be better coordination of services, avoiding duplication.
price.
And those two types of committees are not, or suggestions will not go away during the budget season. So,
Here's an example, you could take advantage of that.
yeah. And just one last thing. The Wi-Fi, I think we have a great chance of getting it, number one, because we need it, but also because, this is why, there'll be upgrades in the Wi-Fi for Town Hall, and Town Hall South, and also, the other place, John, what was it?
Family
Youth and
services.
Family
Oh, that's
Services.
in there.
So maybe they,
They'll get it all done.
so, right, we can be a part of that package, or they'll be a part of our package, so that could help.
Yeah.
Jack, there was one time that we were talking about having Rick was talking about having a security system that was being upgraded so that the Guilford PD could be monitoring our building here. I don't see that on here. Have we not pursued that?
They have the same system we have, so we just, you know, I gotta find out if there's a way that we could tie in with what they have. They have the exact same camera system we have.
Okay.
Same thing.
But that wasn't a capital request that we had put in.
Excuse me, no.
But, yeah, we
I
have
thought-
that.
I thought we
have
had.
That system was installed on here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was under, because I do remember seeing it 2 years
Oh,
ago.
yeah, we have it, it just
Okay.
doesn't go to the police department, we have it.
Okay.
And we've used it sometimes, we can look back, like, for example, we can find out who is breaking ceiling tiles in the game room. If we find some broken, we can go back, we can get the tape, we look back at it, we call the police or whatever, or the school administrators, and they say, oh, yeah, we know who that is, and, you know, we were able to find out who's doing the damage. We can go back and get a picture of them, and, you know, our camera's able to do that.
Well, I just,
Inside?
I just thought that we had, I don't recall us not having this energy, and I thought we had budgeted for that, and I don't remember seeing it.
We do have it.
We do have it, okay.
And yes, it's important about the tiles, but I'm more concerned about anybody who works here during the day, anybody who comes in. We only have to read about in the newspapers almost on a daily basis. That type of security, that's what I'm thinking
Who's
about.
looking at our monitors all day?
There's,
I mean, because everybody's glancing up at them all
yeah,
the time.
it's in that main,
That
the
worries
front
me.
office there. Yeah.
That worries me, it really does.
We are, we have a purchase order to get some of those safety buttons, you know, like
Yes.
buzzers
I think
that'll
we
go
need- we
right.
need to do that,
We have,
yes.
I think, 4 locations those are going. They're not in yet, but we have the purchase order for it, which we're ready to go, we just gotta make it happen.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Because I think that's more important, because as soon as we see something wrong, we can get the police here. They
No, that's one part.
aren't gonna be watching it all day to see
Yeah, at the
who's
right
walking in
moment.
on
at
No,
the
I
right
the, you
time.
understand. But I'm also interested in the closed-circuit TV cameras. And I know, I believe in some of the schools in town, they went through the standing building committee, and they made assessments, your school, so it's hidden, but it's money, it's well-spent money. Yeah.
Safety.
Which brings us back to the point with Rick. At some point soon, the first selectman's going to want, just to get a sense from us where we are.
Well, this is submitted. I mean, this is what we did
No,
when we
I
went to the
understand
Board of
that.
Selectmen.
I understand that. He wants to see if, he wants to get a sense of, do we submit, do we give it to him as submitted because he's got all of the departments, you know, which would include ours, which is $525,000 in the first year. And it was clear to me that we aren't gonna get all of that $525,000 the first year, nor is any other department for that matter. And I think I recall you saying that as far as the, not to them, but to me, that the machine, the capital projects, that there might be some kind of a prioritization that might have been worked out by some of the members of the department.
You talking about the equipment?
Right, on some of the things.
Yeah.
So I think we're, you know, one was, and I'm not divulging any strategy here, and it's better that people hear about it. One was a pickup truck with a plow frame and whatever, a Ford 350. I don't know what that is, but that's what it says here. That was a priority. And next was a passenger bus, 20 passengers. The third was a dump truck, a Ford 550. Then the fourth priority they identified for you was the a mower, which replaces a 1990 mower. So those in total come up to $152,640 out of the total of 525. But then I think we have to take a look at the other things in that budget.
But if we've already submitted it.
But no, I know. I know what you're saying. I'm just saying what he's asking for, and I don't have a problem with that.
So what is he asking for, Jack? I guess I'm not understanding.
Well, he's asking for some kind
Is
of
he asking for some sort of
some kind of a
prioritization?
prioritization, exactly.
Oh, all right, okay.
Exactly, and that
Okay,
makes sense,
that
though.
wasn't clear, I'm
That makes
sorry.
sense, yeah.
I mean, it's almost like your Santa's list. If you have 20 items on it, you can only get 5. Which 5 do you want?
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah. I
we
mean,
go through that at work too. I
Yeah,
mean,
I can say this, though, if indeed we do prioritize for 2017, 2018, we can put other things in subsequent years.
well, then they just give us, what do they call them? I used to call them grant money, you know, you get a lump sum. You've got
And then you figure it
200
out yourself.
And you have $250,000, you can spend it, so spend it where you
know,
can.
I
and
wouldn't
then
want to hear that, but that's, yeah, you're right, that's a possibility.
Block grants. The old
No,
block
no, you're
grants.
right, you're
One
right.
thing, Jack, remember I mentioned at the meeting, is that in our first year of the capital equipment budget, it's 212,000. Well, my glasses here, 112,000 of that was deferred from this year.
Right.
If we had gotten the 2 trucks that we had put in for this year, that'd be 100,000, it'd be half the amount.
Right.
But they pushed it back, and I'd
So
asked
now we're
the,
worse yeah.
I had asked, well,
Conditional
should we
priority.
keep pushing things back? So put everything you think you need, so that's what we did.
I didn't say that,
Yeah.
and that's correct.
Yeah.
But in the world of the budgets, that doesn't carry the day. That doesn't
Oh, yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I mean, we almost have to reprioritize again.
Right.
So if you're asked for the priorities,
I don't know.
list the 5 or 6 items
That are on
that are
this.
on here. Those are our priorities,
Yeah.
2 of which were pushed from the previous budget.
And in fact, Tony Anselli was there, our park foreman, and he made the comment that, well, everything on there is things we need. We wouldn't put it on if we didn't need
Yeah,
it.
I wouldn't prioritize, let's
Yeah.
let them do their job, then we worry about it.
But that strategy stresses the importance of it, that it was pushed from a prior year. But
It's up to
it doesn't take into account, you know, the added costs either, though. No, I want every one of them.
Well, that's why I don't think we should
But-
prioritize, let's just let it go.
But if I could just be one thing, on the positive side, though, our buses, we originally had in for the 5-year plan at 80,000. Terry Buckley found a grant where the
Yes.
cost will only be 16, so we've
Right.
come way
Yes.
back on the
Right.
cost.
Way
It
back on
dropped
those.
down a lot.
Yes, I saw that, and that was great. All right.
Well, all right, well, okay, but I think at some point, we may have to meet again if Rick gets the word from the first selectman that we've got to,
Well, don't we have to meet again to
Sharpen the
do our
pencil.
budget?
of course, of
some point, yeah.
course.
Wait a minute, at some point, that's
What's-
coming pretty soon too, isn't it?
We'll have to get, Rick, yeah, tell us about that date.
What's the
We
date
don't
for
have
that?
a date.
Oh, we don't.
So, I mean, I just put
Yeah,
on just a,
Sometimes we get a date in 2 weeks. I mean,
yeah.
Well, that's what
I mean, I'm starting to work on things. Todd did a great
Alright.
job putting together all the, like, garbage bags
Right.
and light bulbs.
Yep.
What- You know, we looked over like a 2-year history, what we spent here, so we have a pretty good handle on that.
Good.
Tony's doing the same thing with some of the grounds.
Just say, we skipped to 9A, but.
Well,
Oh,
whatever happened to 8G and 8H?
oh, yeah.
Right, we
okay.
kind of jumped over those.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Which way are we going?
I'm gonna finish this thought while he's talking.
Well, the operating budget?
Yeah,
Go for it.
let's finish the thought.
Well, so we don't have any, we have nothing yet, but normally it's due around
But we're working on it. We're not
third
gonna
week
get
of
caught
December,
short here. are we?
fourth week of December or something. Yeah, we're working on it.
Okay. But we also, if we have to have a meeting, we've got to schedule this ahead of time to
Right.
get us here. you
I don't know what the
just-
due date's gonna be yet. I don't
All
know.
right.
It's usually due around the 20th,
It's
isn't it?
around 20th, 21st of
They were
December
on late
usually,
last
yeah.
year for some reason, didn't they?
Oh, that's within a
The
couple of
28th
weeks.
or
here. We
something.
need to-
It
we
it
need
may
to
be this
figure
year,
out when
because,
we
you
can
know,
all
the
meet.
finance director's new, you know, she's only been on board for a month, I think, maybe now. So,
But don't forget, the Board of Finance and the Board of Selectmen have the public hearing in January, usually around the second week of January. So we know that, that's going to be pretty firm.
So if we back out of that, we know that probably in the next
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's already.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So we should set a date
Yeah.
tonight for
I
when
think
we
we
need
should.
to meet.
We should-
How can you set a date if you don't know when it is?
Well, we know.
Because we do know that it's going to be.
It's gonna be
probably before, or
Christmas.
directly after Christmas, so we probably need to do
Right.
this before Christmas, because
Right.
traditionally, that's what we've done.
That's correct. Yeah, no, that's correct.
If we know we have to have it done by, just for our own notification, knowing that the date's looming in a certain period of
Right.
time, which we already can guess.
Absolutely.
About when it is.
Absolutely.
What is
Because we
the
can't
date
avoid
gonna
it, though,
be
that-
about?
Judy.
The budget, no, but
It's
it's the operating
unavoidable.
budget.
Operating.
this was just a capital
The operating
Now we have
budget.
It's this budget, Judy.
the operating
Judy,
budget.
it's this budget. The $1.485 million.
supplies.
Yeah.
So what are we thinking as far as a meeting date for,
Never.
Yeah, let's, because there's never going to be a good time.
thrown
Rick,
out
help
there?
us out on that one as far as what you estimate the time is that, by which you'll have to submit it to the Board of, the Finance Director. And you don't know for sure now.
I don't.
And that's okay.
Yeah, and I wish I had thought of it. I should have probably called to see if we have a date in mind, so we would have that for the meeting tonight, but I didn't do that.
Well, we're looking at.
Usually it's around December 21st, 22nd, 23rd, somewhere in there.
Then we have to meet
So we
next
have to
week.
meet before that.
We have to meet next week.
Well, then, how about, does that give him enough time to put something together?
What date did you say?
Can you put
So
something
it looks
together
like
by
we'd
like
have to
next
meet next
Wednesday?
week,
That'd be tight.
because the following week, well, that week is
Well,
the
then it'll have to be the
19th, and
19th.
19th and 20th.
20th is, how about?
That's
the-
a Tuesday.
December 12th is a Monday? Do I have to?
That's next week.
Well, that's, I said the 14th, and it was too soon.
Okay. All right.
So how about the 19th? Monday, the 19th?
No, that would be, that would be right. Yeah. Because last year, as I recall, last year, you got an extension to submit the operating budget.
We will spend.
Yeah. I think they probably give a little bit.
Because see, one thing that's helpful for me is usually the finance office gives us where we are to date, to this point.
Right.
So it gives me a handle of what we've done for these 4
Right.
months, and then I kind of look at, okay, what last year did we spend the last 8 months of the year? And I kind of put it all together, and I don't have a starting point yet for that. But I can, like I said, some of the bigger accounts are the community center, fields, parks.
Right.
Those we have a fairly good handle on. Utilities, I may not have a good handle on that, because again, that's information we usually get from them. Look, I'll do everything I can. I'll get whatever I can.
Why
I'll
don't
try
we
to
do
get it
this, Rick?
done.
Why don't we tentatively set it for the 19th?
Yeah.
If you do not have enough information, then we are gonna have to get an extension and meet after Christmas.
Yeah,
And you
That's
may
all.
have a date by then,
right.
that's, you know, a
That
due
makes-
date
that
by
makes
then
sense.
too.
But I think, generally speaking, it's that week that is due, somewhere around the 21st, 22nd,
Right.
so.
So if we met on the 19th, that's cutting it, but at
It's
least
cutting
it's
it, but it's-
before.
but it's-
It gives you enough time, maybe,
Yeah,
hopefully.
yeah, because generally we don't make huge changes.
No,
Last
it
year
just-
they
we
ran
need to
late,
go over it.
Like the
Yes.
28th before we went out, but after Christmas.
6:30, our
still-
normal meeting time?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check.
It's a working meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, but still,
We
you can do
we did
some
six.
training.
This is for everybody.
Yeah.
We did that one.
You still have to post it, you know.
All right, so
No,
let's make
we're
it
good.
6 o'clock? Is
Wanna
that
make it
too
at
early,
6?
John and?
Claire, can you do
Mark?
6?
Not usually.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
6:30
We can keep it at
pushes it, but-
6:30 then,
So
just
6:30.
eat at 6:30.
Yeah.
I'll suggest 6:30. Okay. Now we gotta go back, I'm sorry.
That's it right down like
Is
this.
this the dog park?
Oh, yeah, I know, I knew.
Oh, okay.
I just,
It'll just have to-
good.
Because we're not.
I wasn't sure if you'd forgotten about the
No,
dog.
we need to go back
No,
to the dog
no,
park.
no, no, no.
No, what's up
And
with
that's
the
very,
dog
very
park?
minor, very minor. I brought this thing, wait a minute. Give me a chance.
Rick, what was this now?
Item, new item 8G, Nut Plains Dog Park. I was at a party over the weekend, and a number of people came to me and said, gee, did you hear that there's an outbreak of kennel cough at the dog park?
That's what everybody forgets.
I didn't really know what that was.
That's what I have right now.
I have now.
I hope you don't have that.
If I start
And-
panting-
Stop drinking that water out of that bowl.
Start panting, I'm out of
You usually
here.
get it, Rick, when you stay in the dog kennel.
So I said, well, you know,
I've been
I
in the
said,
dog
I'm
park.
sure the ladies from the dog park are on top of that. I said, Catherine Kiernan is away on vacation now, so her husband, anyway, so I looked on Facebook, on their Facebook page. They've had several notices on the Facebook page about it. And I went down there today, and they have a poster here, and it's more for the public. To avoid the spreading of viruses, all owners are asked to bring their own water dish and not share with other dogs.
Wow.
Water will still be provided by volunteers. If you see a water bottle, please bring it home to refill. We anticipate using a lot more water with each owner self-filling. So the idea is, don't share water with other dogs, or don't have your dog share the water.
Yeah,
Both of those
better yet.
I think that's the intent of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
Plus,
So,
Okay.
just, we did take that a step further. I had an email from Catherine, she's away on vacation. She made me alerted me to that, and I contacted the Guilford Vet today to just get some more detail on what we should do. So we're posting a similar sign with a little more information, also any toys they can't share. So we're taking all I've asked the guys tomorrow, they're gonna take all the tennis balls, we're gonna take everything
Get it
out.
there now.
And reiterated, and we're putting another sign up that we printed up with that same thing about not sharing balls, toys, and bowls.
Okay.
So,
is there any way they
Planes,
can,
trains, and automobiles.
yeah.
is there any way they can send that notice out to the stores downtown, because they're nice enough to leave bowls out of water for dogs, and they should probably be aware as well? So I don't know how you disseminate that, but they probably should hear that
Yeah,
same information.
I'm not sure all the
to
stores
pull
have that,
those
but
bowls
maybe we
in.
can try to get the word out to them.
Is that a recreation function? I don't know.
No,
No,
it's
but
a
I
more
think
kindness.
as a
Kindness. It's a
public
kindness.
courtesy.
That's right.
Public
You can
awareness.
probably contact the Courier, and they can kind of have a little article about it as well.
Or the chamber.
Pass it, yeah, the chamber,
Notify the chamber, they'll notify the businesses downtown.
they could let them
Yeah,
know. I think they
or-
should know it, since they do, they're kind enough to have bowls.
Yeah, Brian will may be able to do that, yes, absolutely. Okay, golf course.
Okay, two things. I spoke to the first selectman about the golf course, on where what's up for us. Because as you recall, the original plan was that we would take the golf course under our wing starting July 1st, 2017. And after a discussion, he said, no, that's not going to happen. The 2017, 2018 the golf course is gonna be the golf course with the golf course commission. Things can change in this town. And I guess my concern was, I think I used a visual. I said, I'm concerned that this is the Parks and Recreation Commission, this is the Golf Course Commission, and it'll be like this. People think it would be a seamless change immediately. And it's not gonna be a seamless change immediately. And I said, I'm also concerned about Parks and Rec, Golf Course here, in other words, hidden here. And, Parks and Rec can do everything, they're fine. And I said, that can't be. We don't have the resources. We just don't.
From the commission
But it's not gonna
standpoint,
happen
we
now,
have a
so.
set membership. We
We're good.
can't expand our membership to include them on our board unless you have a change.
You'd have to change the charter.
You have to change the charter.
But at this
But
point, he
that-
says it's
that's
not
a-
gonna happen, right?
Not for
17,
2017.
but what
as
after
we
that?
had
So we're good.
it thought. And he did say that the Golf Course Commission is going to be developing its own budget. I mean, they have one now.
Well, they have a capital budget, it's already listed in here.
Well, yeah, but they also have an enterprise fund, which is different. They don't come under this budget. They have their own, like the Marina Commission does.
Right.
They're changing so that they're going to be integrated into, when I say this is
They're gonna be integrated into the town budget.
town operating budget. But
So the town will subsidize.
But he did say that, well, maybe the Parks and Rec can help them for 2017-18 with, he didn't say registrations, but some activities.
Programs, maybe?
Programs and things like that. And I think we can, but I'm just concerned that if we do that with the existing staffing configuration, that's gonna place a burden on Rick Maynard and the Recreation Department, Recreation Supervisor.
It can't be a
But
negative
what we
effect
can,
to
what we
our
can do
existing.
what we can do, though, is we could certainly approach the board, the Golf Commission,
That was my next point. yeah.
and give them the information from our disc golf, and see if they're willing to carry on with that. Not that we'd have to do it, but we did a lot of the legwork for them.
Yeah, you
We
can
spent a
hand
lot of
them
money
a,
on it, too.
So, we did.
We already
but-
invented
but
the
that's
wheel.
okay. But I think we need to do that sooner rather than later, because if they're not interested in doing it, then we need to look into how we're going to be able to do that. And if we want to get that up and going by spring, we need to really start to work on that.
I think Rick has consistently said about the disc golf that if the Golf Course Commission is not going to do the disc golf, then we're gonna find a place. to
Well, that's
do
what
it.
I'm saying, though. I think we
Yeah,
need to
and we
approach them
should.
sooner
Yeah.
rather than later now. We need to, since
need a
we're
response.
not, they're not going to be part of Park and Rec, I think we need to approach them right
For the
away
year,
and say, we're willing to give you the information, do you think you're gonna take the ball and go with it? If not, then we need to look at it. That's exactly what I thought I said.
To that end, my second point was that maybe in January, maybe we could have a joint meeting of the Golf Course Commission and this commission somehow. Or a subcommittee of both. Because they're gonna be putting together a budget, and they're gonna have ideas, and I don't wanna duplicate what they're gonna do, and just to sit down and talk with them. I mean, since it's a reality, or will be a reality, why not?
Is the plan, I
Why
know you
not?
said 17, 18 is the commission, is the anticipation is after that it would come back here? Or are they planning on seeing how that goes, and then if it works, fine, if not?
I don't know, but I thought I understood him to say that they would continue with their status quo at least until 2017, 2018, which I guess implies maybe they'll continue after. And again, things change.
What would we meet and say?
But I think we should have a meeting with them. I mean, they have a new chairman. I don't know him. Well, think about it. I mean,
I don't know what we would, but we could, give
Why
us some
not?
time to think about it.
Why not? What's the harm in having a meeting with
Oh,
them?
I've no harm in having a
Yeah,
meeting, it's
yeah.
just, well, time, scheduling the meeting,
Yeah, well,
and
yeah.
to what end?
No.
I
Well,
mean, if we're going to be two separate entities,
we're not though. This year, for 2017 to 18,
We are.
We're overlapping on a few things.
well, you just said that
Would
we
we be
weren't.
overlapping?
be overlapping they're gonna have their, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
10 minutes.
Okay.
We have 10 minutes left.
Oh, we can do
We can
this.
have that.
Okay, well, let's talk about it in January.
Yeah, let's
But-
table that for a while.
But the more we can,
We do need to do the calendar quickly.
No, yeah,
Something
right.
That really has to be done.
9B, we can do it very quickly. 9B, schedule of regular meetings for 2017. Catherine, thank you very much for going above and beyond the call on this, for clearing through the, well, I don't want to say the word.
And I think we need to change the Monday to the 10th.
Right,
July,
July 10th.
July 10th, I agree.
right, right.
So do we need to vote on this?
Yes, we do.
Then I would make a motion that we accept the calendar with the change that we changed the July 3rd to July 10th.
And that'll be
Second.
transmitted to the town clerk.
Well, as soon as we okay.
A second?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Kathy, would you mind emailing that to Bonnie to make sure she schedules the rooms? Or you can get it to me or something?
Yeah,
make
you
sure it's on
realize
there.
I booked all the rooms for next year, now you just messed it all up.
I know.
Ah,
You're making work,
They're probably not
Bonnie.
even open on the 3rd.
You're making work for
You
Bonnie.
need a motion to adjourn.
Remember, July 4th is an American.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
holiday.
Since we're out of time.
All those in favor?
For the record,
Aye.
Judy Sullivan seconded that motion. Judy seconded the motion to adjourn.
Are we off?